Hello, everybody. Happy Halloween. My name is Jamie. I'm the founder of Reunited Games, and while I am way past Halloween, my costume got here late, and so I have to make my money's worth out of it. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. I think it's pretty cool. I'm gonna take this off so it's not so distracting. Hello. So if you're just joining in, like I said, I'm the founder of Reunited Games. I'm going to school for my bachelor's degree in game development and have plans to continue forward on to get my master's. This is the third video in this series because the last one was a two-parter. I put two classes into one because I was late, which is what I'm going to be doing this episode as well because I'm very late. So let's get into it. So today's November 8th. I know the last video was before I started this month's classes. It was sometime in October. And so I'm going to go ahead and let you know right now that I'll let you know right now that everything that I showed you on the last video is exactly what they were asking for because I got 100 on everything, as well as what I'm going to show you for that last week of Psychology of Play. And then I'll show you what I'm doing for this current classes as well. That's all going to be in this video. So once again, the weekly planner is one of the projects you can choose from. Again, I have school, working on project, prep D&D, Fortnite with my wife, D&D night, play with friends, date night. We went to go see Venom 3. The movie was pretty good. If you guys haven't seen it, I think it's getting a lot more hate than what it was because it's definitely better than some of the other garbage Sony put out. Anyway, let me close out of this. The next project I did was the Golden Circle. It was one of the options you can do where your goal is here in the middle. So Reunited Games, the indie studio that I'm starting up, unite players through meaningful story-driven games that create emotional connections. Let me read you the description. Develop your own why statement for your career path / industry, along with your unique how and what statements using what you learned from the Golden Circle material, which they give you. Create a digital or hand-drawn Golden Circle that showcases your why, how, what for your career path / industry. And this is essentially what I came up with myself, but they have it differently. Like you can do it in whatever colors or font you want, I think, but this is what I do. The next one is EI Quest, and essentially stands for Emotional Intelligence. They want you to create a project kind of like this. Again, I got 100 on it, so if you're doing something like a presentation, as long as it's exported as a PDF, you should be fine. This is because they wanted it in PDF form. But yeah, so emotional intelligence, strength, challenges, growth strategies. I show a little screenshot of my emotional test quiz that I did that they give you the links for. Social skills is 62 is probably not my highest, is my lowest. Yeah, self-awareness 90, empathy 78. These are all screenshots of what they gave you on the test, so I just stuck those on there to make it look nice and pretty. Another quest for this week is Digital Detox, and they essentially just wanted you to pick one day of the week to go device free, restrict social media, etc. Create a newsletter, newscast, or radio commercial sharing your experiences, explaining the benefits, and encouraging others to do the same. And essentially they just wanted you to make like a fake news article. It's like, oh, digital detox. Can you go one day without technology? That kind of thing. The next quest that you have available to you is mindfulness scavenger hunt, where you're supposed to take down a piece of paper or a notepad or a pen or something, go out walking around in somewhere nice and quiet, like a suburb or something, and then write down write down these following things: 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. So like a type of food, grass, or the bricks or dirt on the ground for feeling. What noises you hear, like cars, birds, planes. What things you can feel, like the wind, the ground beneath your feet, the sun is something you could see as well. Other people, vehicles as well. You could probably do. I mean, I would recommend keeping them different. Like, don't use cars for what you can see, cars for what you can feel, cars for what you can hear, cars for what you can smell. You can pretty much do everything with cars except tastes, and you could technically still do that. So don't do that. Just keep them all unique and you'll be fine. But I didn't do this one, so I can't show you what I did. But it sounds pretty simple. Now, one thing I will note is that most of these, they do ask you to respond to a classmate with a certain amount of words and paragraphs and leave an open-ended question. Try to like a building up like, oh, that's really interesting. Have you ever thought about doing something like this? Or what do you feel this about this? And they want you to do that with pretty much every project that you upload. And I forgot to do it with it being my birthday week that week because my birthday's on Halloween. So I didn't get nearly as many points as I should have. And I reached out to the professor, we worked something out, and she was able to get me up to 100, thankfully. But that was my own fault. Please make sure you're following the rules and the instructions that they want you to do. Now, before we get into next week, I want to talk to you a little bit about the math classes, pre-calculus and calculus. Now, when you first sign up for Full Sail, you guys are going to either have or you will be doing a math assessment test. You can Google this just to make sure that I'm not mistaken when I tell you this information, but there's essentially 2 checkpoints when it comes to this math assessment test. Now, it's either 30 or 60. I can't remember. The minimum is either 30 or 60, all the way up to like an 85 or 90 maybe. I'm not totally sure. But if you get between that gap, that checkpoint, essentially, you're in. You got into the course. You're gonna let you take the class the program that you want to take. However, they are going to stick you in with pre-calculus and calculus classes as well, which is what I'm doing. Now, if you get above that, like a 90 or above, 95 or above, I don't remember where it's at exactly, but if you get above that into that second checkpoint, you're going to get in without having to take those pre-calculus and calculus classes, which is what I was going for, but I didn't. I know that kind of sounds scary to a lot of you, but I'll let you in on a secret. Okay, they give you 10 chances to pass almost every single test. I've only had one test in the last 2 months that was only 3 chances to pass, but most of the time they give you 10 chances to get your highest grade possible, and then they take the highest number. So, and if you get an 80, they just give you the answers afterward. You get an 80% on your test, they'll be like, okay, good enough, and they give you the answers afterward, which you can then it tells you what you got wrong and what was the correct answer was. Use that and then retake the test and get 100. And on top of that, they make it very clear from the get-go that you can use plenty of online resources. They give you a list of the ones that they allow, I guess, but that's most of them anyway. So I scored like an 80 or something on my assessment test when I got into school, but I've had 100 on every test that I've done so far because it lets me retake anything I mess up. I can just retake it, use my resources, and you'll be good. So the reason I mentioned that is because that was my biggest issue and fear when it came to college is the math. So don't let that be a factor, because nowadays when you're on the job, you're going to be using your resources. You're not going to solely rely on your brain power. If you have a question and you don't know it, you're going to look it up, right? Look at it like this. It can be your first roadblock that you bypass onto the road of following your dream, right? So don't let that be your rule. If you made it this far into the video, I want to thank you. Feel free to check around the other videos. They're very similar. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But let's continue on into the current classes this week, now that we're all caught up. So once again, this month I have calculus instead of pre-cal. So one of my classes is math, so I'm not going to cover that one more than what I just did for you guys. I did that because I wanted to touch up on a little bit of math, but I didn't want to go full on like I have been for psychology of play or my next class. So the first week of technology and entertainment media, it was a plan of attack is what I had to do. Let me pull this up for you here. So the first one I had to do was essentially once again the weekly planner, but this time it's for the entire month. I had to do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday throughout the entire month instead of just for the week. And I wrote all this stuff down here. You can take a look at it. Like live lectures are on Tuesdays. Plan of attack is the first one, which is what I'm showing you here essentially. My plan is to do this today, this today, this today, this today, this today, and so on. Then they wanted you to customize this. This was just a template that they gave me. And then I just drew in the line work and filled it in a little bit to try and create some customization. Threw in my little chibi here. and so on. Probably blocking out this top one corner over here because it has some information there I don't want to give out. And essentially it's just your email for the student email, my name, your section that you're in for this class, the program, whatever, stuff like that. Then for the next assignment for this week is industry websites, and they wanted you to go over a few different websites that the industry standard is to use to keep up to date with whatever the industry standard is. So gamedev.map is an invaluable resource that provides interactive global map of game development studios, and essentially you use that website. I used GDC, I used IGDA, the International Game Developers Association, Unreal Engine, Sketchfab. I want to say that there were some stipulations to what you were doing. Like I think they wanted me to do 3 game dev websites and then 2 of another class, like game art. So like game engine, you can, so like Sketchfab is like a blender almost to make 3D models, and it was something like that. I don't remember exactly, but it's pretty simple to do. You just grab some websites, give a paragraph or 2 of information about it in your own words, and you continue on. Then we move on to week 2, where the first thing they want you to do is create a post, like a blog post of your industry, like a discussion post, like you've moved them before, of your industry hero. And I did mine on Pirate Software, as you can see here, because it was his video that in the end made me decide to go into school, to start pursuing game development. I did Pirate Software for mine, as you can see here, because it was his video, Go Make Games, which I can link in the description of this video. That's the video that made me decide, hey, I want to go into game development. And then while I was doing my own self-studying, I was like, okay, I want to go into Full Sail because I want the coursework of education instead of just blindly attempting to learn myself. And so this was my post about him and what he's done. Then they asked you to do an industry growth discussion post where they want you to talk about what the industry is like today, what you expect it to be in 5 to 10 years, what you think it'll look like in 25 years, and then they want you to talk about your career path and where you want to be within the next 5, 10, 15 years, and cite your resources, of course. So now we're on to industry terms. This is also still within week 2 of TEM, where it's portfolio competency industry terms. And essentially they just want you to take, I did 10 of each of what I'm about to tell you, but they want you to do 7 of each or more. So I did 10 of each, but they want you to do 7 terms of game development terms. Make sure I understand the definition and then give them the definition in our own words, not the legal, like, dictionary definition. They want our own words of definition, and so that's what I give them here. They also want an example of use, and then the site where I got it from, Polygon article here that you can API, assets, in game engine, frame rate. They give you a list of ones to pick from, and then at some point, because again I did 10 instead of 7 like they ask, game art terms, they ask you to do one from another program that's in relation. So game development, game art, because you need the art for the game. And so I did modeling, sculpting, texture mapping, rigging, rendering, so on and so forth. Then for the last assignment they ask you to do for week 2, I know it sounds like a lot because honestly it is a lot compared to the other weeks. They've asked for like 2 or 3 assignments per week in this course, or this class I should say, and the other ones only had 1 or 2. So anyway, technology and entertainment media, industry jobs and exploration. This one they want you to choose 3 different job positions that are open and then give them all of the information about it. So in this case, gameplay programmer, Epic Games. The link for it the company, location, skills needed, the salary, the cost of living for that area for North Carolina. There's one that was remote. If you do for a remote position, like I think it was this one. No, I don't remember. If you do a remote position, they're gonna want you to give them their cost of living and where you live. So for me, it'd be Texas. That's essentially it. Salary, cost of living, skills needed, location, viability with the seller's competitive elevated cost of living in Burbank means careful budgeting and essentially to maintain a comfortable living style in that area. You get the idea, right? You just choose 3 job posts, give them all in your own words, all the information that they're asking for that they'll ask you for. And that catches us back up to present day, 11/8/2024. I apologize if that was a little kind of sporadic. It wasn't as well thought out as what my other videos are because, well, it was more sporadic because it took me longer to get it out, so I was in a rush trying to catch myself up, and I didn't want this video to be too long. I'm gonna end it here before it gets even longer because I've already started doing next week's assignments. For those of you interested in any update on my game development process for my clicker game, there hasn't been any. I've been way too busy. I know I need to work on that. I need to make sure not to let things keep me from working on it because I need to work on it, especially if I wanted to get it out this month, which I don't think is gonna happen. I will say this is an update. I will say Full Sail gives you the option to receive equipment that gets rolled into your tuition costs of the industry standard current. So after your general education classes, which mine ends this month, I will be receiving a package from Full Sail with my laptop, work bag, and anything else that I might need for game development. Most of it's going to be software that I have to download or comes pre-downloaded, I'm not sure. But essentially, they give me my computer to work off of, like a work computer. So that's a pretty cool update that should be getting here at the end of this month or the beginning of next month. And I have a feeling once that gets in and I can leave the house and do work, like I can go to Starbucks or something, I can focus more instead of having so many distractions, games, TV, cat, anything. I can just go away and work. I will be able to do more game development process. So let's reiterate what I said before. Instead of November 18th or 19th, whatever it was, for when my game will be uploaded, let's do Christmas, December 31st, 25th. December 25th. Sorry, I don't know why I said 31st there. December 25th is going to be Christmas Day. I will try and get my game up by then. That's my goal. Splatster to be up Christmas Day. I'll send it to all my friends as a Christmas present. It'll be cool. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I apologize for the delay in content, but what are you gonna do? Have a good rest of your day, and I look forward to what comes next.